Kristi Noem, head of Homeland Security. Detaining and questioning people is never easy.
Kristi Noem really seems to only care about locking up as many Hispanic fathers as possible or making sure that her face stays bolted to her skull.
As the face of Homeland Security, I'll be leading the way. And together we'll make sure everyone is in this country legally.
Just like a Disney villain, she's now shrieking in horror after not getting her way.
Mother...
Kristi is writing her own burn book, but the only name in there is Kilmar Abrego Garcia. You guys may remember this Maryland man who was wrongfully deported by Trump's ICE and sent to El Salvador's SECOT.
Tonight, a federal judge giving the Trump administration until Monday to bring back this man to the United States from the high-security prison in El Salvador, where he was deported by mistake.
Well, now he's been returned to the United States, and a judge has ordered him be released from ICE's detention, which sent ICE Barbie into a total meltdown. Make sure you subscribe to Really American, and let's jump right into it.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia has been released from criminal custody in Tennessee and is now on his way to Maryland, his attorney telling ABC News. Now that he's been released, immigration authorities aren't allowed to detain him, and that is because a federal judge blocked the administration from detaining and deporting Abrego Garcia upon his release in Tennessee. Now, all of this comes just 5 months since the Salvadorian native was first taken into custody. Abrego Garcia initially deported to SECOT prison in El Salvador in March. But after a judge ruled that he was wrongfully deported, the Trump administration was forced to facilitate his return. The federal government ultimately returning him to the U.S. in June to face human smuggling charges. That case is set to begin January 2027.
Kilmar is able to return back to his family, but only temporarily, as Homeland Security is already warning his attorneys that they're not going to let up. ICE Barbie went into a rage on Twitter at the idea of Kilmar being released. She tweeted, "Activist liberal judges have attempted to obstruct our law enforcement every step of the way in removing the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens from our country. Today, we reached a new low with this publicity-hungry Maryland judge mandating this illegal alien who is an MS-13 gang member, like no he's not, human trafficker, again no he's not, serial domestic abuser, again no he's not, and child predator be allowed free. I think he should be able to sue her for defamation for this. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. By ordering this monster loose on America's streets, this judge has shown a complete disregard for the safety of the American people. We will not stop fighting till this Salvadorian man faces justice and is out of our country." It's so funny that she's saying Salvadorian man because everyone calls him a Maryland father, which he is. The fact that he speaks Spanish doesn't make somebody not American. The fact that you weren't born here doesn't make somebody not American. In reality, the difference between him and any other immigrant to this country is paperwork. They're trying to smear Kilmar Abrego Garcia as some sort of monster in order to paint all undocumented immigrants as monsters, and therefore justifying their inhumane treatment of them. I agree with the first response here by Jamie Bonkowitz. Fuck you, Nazi bitch. Now, I think the administration is aware of the fact that their human trafficking charges from the traffic stop in Tennessee is unlikely to stick. The situation seems to be an open and shut case of Kilmar simply driving his co-workers across state lines, and his co-workers were undocumented immigrants. Not exactly the dangerous monster that human trafficking invokes. So instead of waiting for their time in court, they're trying to force Kilmar into pleading guilty, and they're doing that by threatening to deport him again, but this time send him to Uganda.
Lawyers for Kilmar Abrego Garcia say the Department of Homeland Security has told them that the government plans to deport their client to Uganda. The Salvadoran national reunited with his family in Maryland last night after being released from a Tennessee jail. He's awaiting trial on human smuggling charges to which he's pleaded not guilty.
Today has been a very special day because, thank God, I am back with family after more than 160 days, and I would like to thank all the people who have been supporting me because after such a long time, I am realizing that many people have been by my side.
DHS ordered Abrego Garcia to report by Monday to an ICE removal office in Baltimore. That came after he declined an offer to be sent to Costa Rica in exchange for pleading guilty.
It's clear here that the government is trying to coerce Kilmar into taking a plea deal or else face a much worse deportation fate, going to Uganda as opposed to Costa Rica. His attorneys now say that upon Kilmar Abrego's release from federal custody, they were informed of the government's intention to deport him to Uganda, a country for which he has no known ties. The DOJ, DHS, and ICE are using their collective powers to force Mr. Abrego to choose between a guilty plea followed by relative safety or rendition to Uganda, where his safety and liberty would be under threat, the lawyers wrote in the filing. The lawyers say Mr. Abrego Garcia has until Monday morning to accept a plea in exchange for deportation to Costa Rica, or else that offer will be off the table forever. It is not immediately clear whether he was considering the government offer. Now in Maryland with his family, Mr. Abrego Garcia is scheduled to appear in a Baltimore immigration court on Monday. If a judge approves the government's request, he could face deportation within days.
Yeah, but I thought he was awaiting trial in January. A judge had said, okay, these human smuggling charges, you're going to face trial in January. So that's, 4 or 5 months away. Why is the Trump administration not saying, you've got to go to court and we'll see if we can prove this against you?
So he does have a final order of removal against him. And the only country he cannot go to is El Salvador. But that's what started this whole thing in the first place. So at any point, immigration officials can pick him up and decide to deport him with 72 hours notice, which they have given here, to a third country. Now, it just depends on exactly what that third country is going to be. At this moment, the January trial date does still stand. But of course, he cannot face those charges, cannot face that trial if he's out of the country. Alex.
And just want to confirm, he doesn't get to go to Costa Rica unless he pleads guilty. So if he goes and shows up for that hearing on Monday, ICE is likely to pick him up and he would likely be taken to Uganda.
That's correct, Alex.
Okay, Gary, thank you so much. It's a complicated story.
Now, I've seen some reporting that Kilmar does have a final order of removal against him, but I've also seen reporting that he doesn't, so it's not exactly clear if what the government is doing is legal here, but that hasn't exactly stopped them so far. What is clear is that Trump's administration is hell-bent on doing whatever the hell they want. I mean, they've chosen this man as a martyr against undocumented immigrants, and they're going to remove him one way or another. It's funny how the United States government is willing to spend so many resources, I mean, the DHS, the DOJ, ICE, all to remove one man who has no criminal record, but they'll let a pedophile felon run the country into the ground. Be sure to stay up to date on what MAGA has in store for us by subscribing to Really American. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.
Because detaining and questioning people is never easy.